There he is.
Sorry, dudes. I had to grab an Advil here. Hold on, one sec.
No problem.
Hey, we appreciate you for pushing.
I already have a headache.
Starting it off right.
No, I
It's
felt I
like
was
my
fucking
prom night.
started to fucking. It's all rainy and shit. It's gross here, and I fucking. You guys ever get fucking headaches in the shitty weather in the rain?
Yeah.
Yes. This time
Yeah,
of year
dude.
is usually the worst because the pollen added in too. It's
Well, there's something about hurricanes too that has the pressure of the storm will give you like fucking sinuses.
you don't know that.
And I do. I remember a couple of years ago.
It's bullshit.
No, a couple of years ago, whenever well, this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, whenever that hurricane came through here, that I don't remember which one, people were getting massive headaches as it was building, as it was coming, because the barometric pressure was like, pushing on your sinuses.
You can skate on it this time.
Yeah.
If you say anything with confidence to me like that, I'll just pretend to agree with you, not to look dumb.
Right.
Yeah. And
No, I've heard that. I've read about that in medical journals.
Do this one. Oh, yeah.
And your cocaine cells.
Yeah.
Messed up. No.
What's up, dudes? Good to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
See you, man.
Thank you for accommodating us, man. Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. No, this is good. Good time for me,
dude. I was thinking about something that I probably meant to ask you so many times before, but never have. And it's about and you're probably tired of talking about it, but it's an Action Park.
Yeah.
So, do you know about Action Park? It's a amusement park that was in New Jersey,
it was a water park, amusement park. It had rides, and it was like a all encompassing rides, water slides, like lazy river kind of, but like really, really dangerous and unsupervised.
That was the thing I was going to ask. The only thing I can remember hearing about is that they had some safety issues.
Well,
they
did a documentary, the class action,
and by issues, deaths.
Yeah, was that the place where the person got kicked in the head?
That's probably the least of what happened
and killed.
One person, they had an alpine slide, like it was a little go-kart thing down this bobsleddy kind of track, and some dude flew off it, hit his head, and died. Another person got electrocuted in the water because there was a loose wire. We called it Accident Park. That was the local, class action park. Was
nice. That's perfect.
So
yeah.
How often did you go there? Because it seems like, despite the danger, it seems like a kind of
fun as fuck.
Yeah. At that age, it just adds to it, right? Yeah,
I closed when it was it closed when I was 15 or 16, so I had a good run with it, and I taped for the HBO one. They had me in, and they did all my stories. I obviously got cut from the HBO one. But the director, Seth Borges, who did the HBO documentary, made one. He made the documentary for HBO based on his original short form documentary for a website called Mashable in 2013, which I'm in. You can see me in that
Mashable.
one.
Yeah.
So if you look it up, you just type the world's most dangerous amusement park or whatever. There's a 2-part, short. Each one's 10 minutes long. So I was in that one. And I'm from Morristown, New Jersey, so that was 30 minutes away from where Action Park was in Vernon. It was called Vernon Valley Action Park because in the wintertime it doubled as a small ski area.
Nice.
So you could do everything there. It was super fun. We went there in high school all the time. I went there when I was a little kid because my dad loved that shit. My dad was old school, Great Depression era.
Yeah.
So cheaper options he was all about it. So and also Great Adventure, which is our other, obviously, the big one in New Jersey. That was an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away. So this was made for us. And I went
a lot
all
of insurance
the time.
Policies out on you that you can remember as a child.
No, but they would eventually, I think, have ambulances and EMTs on site. That's just was a normal thing for them. They would just be you're working. That was your shift. If you were an EMT, you have Action Park today.
Dude, that's like I just imagine you guys like it was like war wounds coming back every summer. Like
Yeah,
fucking
you can't. You literally
do
you came
this,
back from
man.
Vietnam. It was
Yeah.
fucking insane. You had stories. You were shell shocked. You had
Yeah.
bruises, and you know.
Fucking in the shit again.
The
Action
last
park.
time I went with my best friend Steve Brown and my dad and my younger sister. My aunt Sil had gone to I forget where the Olympics were in '94, maybe Lillehammer or whatever. She brought us back like all these souvenirs, these like towels and everything. And my little sister brought her a towel. It was, like an authentic Olympic towel and everything. And my buddy Steve Brown had his Walkman, his Discman. And we all put it in a bag. Of course, my dad didn't want to pay $2 for a locker, so he was like, "Throw it on top of the lockers; it'll be fine." Gone, totally gone. And that was the thing, though. It really wasn't supervised. It was all teenagers who were just, this was their summertime jobs, and they were just high. And there was also alcohol freely being served there, and so it's just like a recipe for chaos. But it's like that was the nostalgia of it. That's why it was fun, man. It really was. Everything in the documentary is so accurate. It's a really good watch, Jason. You should watch it, man.
Dude, I've got to watch it now.
Do you think like obviously that just doesn't exist in this world at all? And I
challenge you to go to a gypsy carnival in Walmart parking lot of Ashburn, North Carolina.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And I think you will probably find that sense of adventure comes right back to
you. Yeah, true. That when you see the bolts flying off the rides, it's pretty.
There are also some rides that aren't really advertised, like don't get knifed in the parking lot. That's a pretty good one.
Or dodge the car.
It's a free ride unless you
but I wonder like if it is nostalgia that's saying like, man, those were the things that made the world great, or if it's like, you survived it. So to me, I'm on the nostalgia side of it. I think it's like, we're missing that sort of element.
My fondness for it would probably be different if my little sister died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a certain group out there is like, no, I don't enjoy that place at all.
What's the
my cousin got stabbed there. Yeah.
What's the worst injury you saw there?
I actually never really witnessed anything bad. Like I said, it was like theft was the only really thing that affected me. I came away with it was like rug burns and just like bruises. But you're just so nonchalant about those things when you're a kid. That's just like par for the course. You just come home from anywhere bruised up and battered.
I remember
what I mean. You don't think about that
slip and slide that they sold in the store. Like you couldn't ride a slip and slide without getting bruised. Or
exactly. It was just like, oh, I don't even notice these cuts and bruises. It was kind of that stuff. I never really witnessed anything bad happen while I was there, injury wise. You would always, but that was always the thing. You heard about all these tales. So, and I think that added to the like mystique of it because you're like, I've never seen that. Or, it's those urban legends. You're like, did somebody really die? But then as you get older, you're like, no, people really die.
Oh no. No, there were police reports.
We have
like articles about them for real that you can like freely search.
Yeah. They had like it was so fucking. They had like a bungee, it couldn't have been very high, but my buddy Brown did it. I was too much of a pussy to do it. I didn't, Then they had like this winter festival. Oh, we saw Oasis there in like 1996.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, man.
Did they play Live Forever, which would have been very ironic.
Yeah, but it really was cool because the guy, I think his name is Andrew Mulvihill. His dad was the guy who created it, and he was just like, yeah, my dad didn't care about engineering or physics. He just would have these guys pitch ride ideas to him, and if he liked it, he would just be like, let's build it. And there was one famous thing. It's called the Cannonball Loop. It's a slide that has a 360 loop at the bottom of it, and it never opened. It might have been open for like one weekend because people were just getting mangled.
Was that the one where like the drop was so high off of after you, or was that another one? I know there was one where there was like a super high drop off.
A lot of force needed to
that was a different one. The super high water slide. There was one that was like it was almost vertical. It was so fucking crazy. And that one was open, but you had to. Here's the funny thing about that: you had to be at least 100 pounds to go down that one. And there was, for the first half of it, there was like a safety net that came over the slide because people would lift off because of the sheer verticality of it. And my buddy Brown, same guy, he was so skinny. He's a skinny fuck. And he lied. He was like, yeah, I'm 100 pounds. That was also the other thing. They didn't really check. There wasn't a scale up at the front of the fucking slide. You just go, yeah, I'm 100 pounds. And they just go. Like, again, just a teenager going, go ahead, you know. So my buddy, I go down one time. And this is also funny, too, because this was a big thing. No Fear. Do you guys remember No Fear brand?
Yeah.
That was a big thing back then. So, like, we had that ethos, you know, like that was our mentality. And so we'd get on there, you'd cross your hands like this. You were already in a death pose when you went down it with your arms crossed.
You were just,
and we'd scream No Fear. And it was I was especially proud of that time because we got up to the top, and I'm telling you, it's like 6 flights of stairs you got to walk up. And we get to the top, and there are these like fucking Puerto Rico, these like gangbangers, they're all tattooed up, and they're like pussying out. They're like, man, I ain't going on that shit, dude. Fuck that. And I just remember being like, I'm going down it. I'm cool. I'm fucking cooler than those gangbangers. And I thought that was super fun. Here's the cannonball loop. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys.
Okay.
I can't do it.
See.
But it was, they would send, I think the guy would give like $100 to employees to like test it before it opened, and they were all just getting like, they'd hit the top of the loop and like, you know, break their noses or break their arms.
How lucky are those guys?
You should be able to share it now.
And so I don't think it ever really opened, but it was always there. You see this on the right here? This thing. It was I don't know where here it is.
Oh wow.
That's not even it.
Oh my God. Does that shoot you straight into the casket at the bottom?
Exactly. Yeah, I can't find it, but it's all true. All those stories are true.
It's amazing, man. I saw that some place, I don't even think it, maybe not in the United States, they had this like water slide where people were bouncing all over the place and they had to close it down. Might have been like, I was like, that's nothing compared to
Jesus.
This was a real thing. And there's the cool thing is that it was never taken down. So like when we'd go there after school in the wintertime, we'd have our ski club here. You'd like ski around it and shit. But yeah, look at the sheer physics of it. They're not gonna, you know what I mean?
Body's going to the bottom of the top, like you're gonna flip down, possibly drown.
Yeah, so I don't know if it ever even opened.
Yeah,
but,
those angles are not kind.
I know.
That nearly like obtuse angle at the very bottom was like back, like, you know.
Well, and plus, if you don't get enough speed, you're gonna come back down.
That was the problem. If you didn't have enough speed, you would just fucking get caught, and then if you had too much speed, you just fucking maim yourself.
Yeah.
Imagine a skinny kid like Brown getting caught in there, and then got to wait for some fat kid to come behind him to just shoot him out.
I know, it was just a recipe for disaster, dude.
Human liquid plumber.
Like,
but God, it was fun. It really was fun. There was so many fun rides too. There was like a lot of really fun stuff. It was like a great water park. Like they were very imaginative. They had it was called a Tarzan swing, where you just basically grabbed onto a rope and you swung out and then like over this big lagoon, and then you just dropped off.
Wow.
And it was super fun. But I think Chris Gethard is the other comic in the documentary. He brought up a great point, which I totally forgot at the time, was that when you swung out on the Tarzan swing, the people in line would be parallel to you. So everybody would just grab their dicks and like fucking moon people. It was just showing, you know, you'd pull down your phone, show everybody your dick. It was just chaos in there, dude. It was so funny.
Where's Antonio Brown when you need him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect for him. Did you do were you like a daredevil as a kid, or you just
Not really.
No.
I was an aggressive inline rollerblader.
Oh.
That was my biggest.
Man who liked to keep things tight.
Yeah. I did like we would skate and like we'd jump on rails and stuff, like handrails, and do that. But other than that, no. I was kind of a pussy, but I mean, I played ice hockey, so I think that was kind of I thought that was kind of manly.
Oh,
but I wasn't
very
like
manly thing.
I wasn't a daredevil by any means. I would let somebody else do something first, and then whatever that outcome was, I'd base my
That's the smart way to do it.
Yeah. I would never be the first one. No way.
I always think about those people that jump in the like you see them jump off the rocks and they jump in the whatever the water below, and I'm like, please, let somebody do that first or check the water down there, because it's like you be jumping right into jagged rocks. But yeah,
totally.
But I guess that's
I'll go third.
Yeah.
Well, it also kind of depends on who the first one jumping is. Like I might be, you know what, this is the one to test it.
I'm gonna need some scientific
way to go.
Scientific method. Like let's do trial and error and see how many. I need numbers before I'm going in that.
Yeah, it's the nuttiest thing I ever did was in college. We were in Switzerland and we did like a canyon jump, which is like kind of like bungee jumping, but you're in a harness.
Yeah.
So you just kind of jump and then you like swing like a pendulum. And we're in this we're in like the Swiss Alps, and there's this like beautiful like gorge with this canyon, and I went third on that.
Yeah,
well, it's at least a scenic way to die. It was a beautiful
totally. That was probably the crazy, and I don't need to do stuff like that. I don't really need to thrill seek. I went in a hot air balloon once, which is like
very nice.
It sounds quaint and pleasant, but those things don't land. You just kind of crash. There's no landing gear. They just they go, we don't know where we're gonna land. We'll just kind of find a field and try and take her down as gently as possible. You go, oh, I didn't know that beforehand.
Yeah, they don't tell you that. I've been in one.
As you're going down, did you guys both think like, I see how the wizard got stuck now?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I bought it for my dad for his 90th birthday party, and he was just like, I remembered it once. He was like, I'd like to do that one time. So I thought he was totally stoked on it. And we got there and they were like, they pulled me aside. They were like, how old is your father? I go, he's 90. They were like, he's in really good shape. I go, dude, he's more excited for it than I am. Don't you worry about him. If anybody has the heart problem, it'll be me. Like, he's fine.
I don't know about you. Did you start thinking about, like, I started thinking of cartoon physics at that point. Like, all right, I've seen a lot of cartoons where the basket will either catch fire or there's a hole, and so you have to grab a hold of the balloons.
How long can I run in the air before I start to jump?
And who's going to pop the balloons that are going to
I mean, to the edge of this log with a hole in it, it's going to be a tunnel for me.
Because the whole idea is kind of cartoon. It's like fucking Up, like this prickled Up, basket with balloons bringing you up in the air.
And they've really stuck to the wicker material. After all, like maybe the most flammable product you could use next to. Why are we doing that? I'm sure there's another carriage material that you could use that's way safer.
The wicker union's strong, man. They will
be local wicker 403.
Yeah.
They're really a tightly woven group.
Atta baby.
Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
I love it.
All right. Well, it was good.
Well, you don't want to know about the sweater people.
They'll unravel at the drop of a hat.
There.
Dude,
I'm not a thrill seeker in that regard, but like I go on roller coasters and stuff. Like I'm not averse to it, but I'm not like, let's go do it. I'm not that guy who's like, we gotta go bungee jumping. I never did bungee jumping. I never sky dove. I try to, but I'm 6'3", like 260 now. So I was in college, I was 20, 30 pounds lighter. And they told me when I inquired about skydiving, they were like, because it's tandem, you're just too big. Like the guy's legs will break because of your height and weight.
Right.
And I was like, all right, there's a nicer way to say that, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say,
I get it. I'll lose weight.
You said tandem, but I was thinking like, if The Rock does it every movie he's in.
Well, but he does it by himself.
I guess.
Yeah.
And it's really him, obviously.
Dude, there's this thing in nature where like you get to a certain size, be it height or not, where you're just like, no, that ain't for me. Like getting up this morning was a little bit more of a challenge than I thought it would be. And like jumping out of a fucking plane.
Right.
Probably not. Yeah. That's not what I need to have the AC/DC music in my head playing to if I'm going to do something crazy. It's like, no. I'll stick
those
to
days are behind me.
Yeah. It's you were talking about the gangbangers that at the park. They were probably like, those bullets are probably enough for us today.
Like,
even gangbangers got to take a day off.
Yeah.
Like
It
I would
was
never.
it was a funny scene just to see like those guys at the water park nervous and scared of something. It's like these guys have committed crimes, but they're
Yeah.
scared of this water slide. It was so funny to me.
It's like,
Fuck this shit. I may be crazy, but I ain't stupid.
It's
Yeah,
like when-
exactly like that. Just totally.
all the
But it was also like, I'm glad they're taking a day off.
Yeah,
From gang.
come on,
Like that's nice.
Good for them.
Be
you know?
responsible.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Everybody's got to
yourself,
reset every now
Yeah.
and then, you know.
I'm with them, dude. Like running into like crazy shit, like getting shot at or something like that. I'm okay with it, but like jumping out of an airplane, fuck that. No way.
I know. It's
Yeah.
weird what people's idea of excitement is.
Why? I don't know.
Your
where
own,
it says- you
your own
just-
sense of danger. Like everybody's got this thing, you know, where like, okay, that's acceptable for me to go into that, but
all it is you end up like a little cloud pops up when you land.
oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I've been doing this wrong. Like a fucking mushroom cloud when I land.
Yeah.
Oh no, Putin finally did it.
That's I don't know.
Topical.
I was gonna say I had a crater joke. I was gonna be a crater. Anyway, hey, let's talk about the special, Andy. You have a new
right, sir.
special coming out.
Yeah, man. Thursday, October 6th, my special Check Right is available on youtube.com/Andrew Fiori. God forbid YouTube lets me change my URL to Andy.
Motherfuckers.
It's I started it like in 2004 just for whatever, and they just won't let me change it.
Dude,
So it's
when-
Andrew Fiori, but you just click on all my links on social at Andy Fiori. Because I like to make things as complicated as possible.
Well, make them work for it, goddammit.
Yeah, man, I'm really proud of it. We shot it at New York Comedy Club in March,
Awesome.
the East Village location. We sold out 2 shows, and it's really looks great. We shot it we made it in black and white, which I'm really excited for.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Everything's really like we did a lot of fun things with it too. Like watch through the credits. We did some cool things in the credits from like my childhood, which was kind of fun. Maybe me and my editor is my best friend from growing up. So like we literally knew each other since kindergarten. So
Oh, nice.
we took some liberties with our resources, but I think it's really fun. I think you guys will like it. I you know, I'm just trying to get the word out there, but you know, my YouTube is the thing I've not spent any time, you know, procuring. And
It's
so
it's
just
like the
head there,
hardest
just
thing
give
to
it a
do,
watch,
but-
tell a friend. That's it. And if you like it, come see me on the road. That's all I ask. I know these
But-
numbers aren't going to be astronomical, but yeah, like let's get to 1,000 views and see where we
Dude,
go.
you
from
never
there,
know.
yeah, you're hysterical. Like you're
Thanks, guys.
really, really, really funny. And
Everything you've ever done, we're a fan of, and not just
Oh,
blowing
man,
smoke,
I
dude. You are so
appreciate it. Yeah, yeah.
fucking funny, and you have
Thanks,
such
guys.
a personal spin and an insight. It's completely unique to you. Like,
Thank
it's
you very
really
much.
fucking cool, man. And we're excited every time you do something. Of course, we're excited when you come here, but dude,
I
like,
love being here.
we just-
Thanks a lot. That means a lot to me. I love you guys, and that really, really does mean a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think with YouTube too, as far as I don't know how it is with comics, but it seems like
air your grievance.
no.
It's a good one.
This is something I think I was thinking about this today, and I'm not really surprised because people are people, but like as far as hecklers go and things like that, there's whoever they're going to see now is at their disposal. Like you can see what you're going
Yeah.
to like get an idea for people,
Right.
and so like, I know they're out there, but it's a good way for people to like they want to get a taste of what you're going to do on the road. Or what,
Totally.
I would
it's-
advise anybody to if you're going to go see a comedian, take a look at it, or maybe not, but like at least
No,
if you're-
100%.
If you're worried about your sensibilities, take a look at what you're going to see.
For sure. Absolutely do research. If it is a great time for comedy where 2 things, what you mentioned, you can now, a lot of people before YouTube would just go to the comedy club
Mhm.
and see whoever was there that night. And a lot of times what would happen was that you would get somebody who you didn't like or you didn't think was funny or just you didn't agree with their sensibilities or whatever. And that's fine. But then like this used to happen when I used to open up with Nick DiPaolo a lot. And he'd always complain to some woman who would eventually like,
some
either
broad,
stand up or
okay.
voice her frustrations. And he afterwards he goes, don't they fucking know who they're coming to see? And it's like, yeah, you have no excuse anymore. You do your homework.
Yeah.
And the second thing to YouTube is that I did self-produce this. And I had my producers and my directors and everybody that I worked with is great, but it was all out of pocket.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I have no problem doing that. But before YouTube, you could have done that. And if nobody bought it, nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So it's like I could have shot this thing around, which I didn't even try. I didn't even shop it around. I just wanted to put it out there for free and let my fans and let people see it and hopefully become fans, because you don't need those gatekeepers anymore. And that's the beautiful thing about the industry right now. There's not much good about it, but it is now a time where comics can make something and it will be seen. And that's a beautiful thing. I love that. You don't need to, like, 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, if I made something and shot it and produced it and edited it and spent all that money, someone might not have been able to see it. And then you're just fucking out of luck. Now I know that I have a finished product and there's going to be eyeballs on it at least. So, I mean, that's a really cool thing.
Not only the eyeballs, but you got to do it. Like you said, you did it yourself. And who knows what the product would have been had so many people put their hands in it. And
I edited the whole thing with my friend. It's got my scent, it's it has my feel. It's a comedy club, which I love being in clubs, and I think that comes across. And like I said, I was able to have total control. So like I was able to do some things that like there's one thing which just comes out of nowhere, because I was like, let's do something silly in the middle, but not like pretentiously, but it's just like I can do that because I have 100% of control and I don't have to answer to anybody. So I really, that goes a long way when you talk to comics who are like, yeah, they fucking took out this bit I love. Well, all my favorite bits made it into the special. You know what I mean? I didn't have to answer to anyone, and that's a cool thing. That's creative control is almost worth it to me. That no, having a nice paycheck would be probably
but that can also give leverage on that nice paycheck later, where if like
you put out something authentic, people see that you can't fucking fake it,
right?
And they're gonna say, okay, well, whenever the next thing comes along, whenever the cash comes in behind you, they're gonna be like, okay, guy knows what the fuck he's doing,
or
he's a proven product, let him do his thing.
And again, like you said, it's your taste, it's your style. Whereas like, I feel like a lot of times before they're like, hey, let's make this look like X, or let's have this set up, this pre-packaged setup. And it's like, it's like you're sitting in somebody else's living room. You know what I mean? Like it's not really.
I want the chain smokers to produce our show. I think that's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
perfect style for us.
Yeah, dude.
It's so nice it's so nice to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. I was talking to Big J Okerson about it, and he called me the day of.
I'm
just
not familiar.
He's an up and comer, and I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't know what to wear. He goes, what do you normally wear? I go, I usually just do my like hoodie and a jeans. He goes, there you go. I was just like, oh yeah, why don't I just? He goes, that's how I think of you. That be yourself. He goes, just be yourself up there. And I went, done, totally, and that's what I wore. Like
if you
I was like, should I wear a button-down shirt? Jay was like, don't. What do you? Because nobody's telling you what to wear, so wear what you want. I was like, oh yeah.
Not to get too much deeper on that advice on it, because it is but that's just if you think about it, that's all the way up and down. It's just be you. What are you doing?
Totally.
And
it's little things like that, because you do, especially like if you're like me, I start to stress over those like little things, because I was like, well, I can control these, but then I started overthinking every decision, and then Jay was, you got to just relax to a point and let the movement of it just take over at a certain point. And that was good advice too, because once I just was like, all right, I'm gonna wear my hoodie and just throw my jeans on, and we had a hair and makeup guy, but that's for more like, it's like, so you don't look like a shithead on camera.
Yeah.
But then after that, you're just like, you're just doing this thing you've done a million times. So just do that and everything will take care of itself. That's why you have all these other people around you doing their jobs. So just fucking go and do your thing. And it was like the thing I needed to hear, because I was, when you are self-producing, you feel responsible for everything, So it's a little added stress, but then you just have to trust everybody you're working with, and just do your own thing, and that's how it happened. So,
Well,
I was really nervous. Not like really nervous, but I was a little tight on the first taping. You know what I mean? Just because like it was the early show. I had like my mom was there, and I say the word jizz liberally in the set. And it's just like my younger sister's in-laws were there, and like they're cool people, but I'm like, are they okay with something? And it's just like it was a little too familiar on the first taping, and it was also just getting it out of the way, so I was a little tighter on that one. But then I was asking my my director Chris, I was just like, I felt a little tight on that one. He was like, well, I couldn't tell at all. So and then for the second one I was like so loose, and I was just felt so great, and I was having fun. I did some crowd work and stuff, and so we have it was cool because we have a nice blend of both shows. So
that's excellent, because I think there's something about that when you go to see a comedian as an audience member, there's a bit of a tension on that side too, where you're okay, let's and I think that kind of maybe can play to your benefit as well. Like you're a little, you're feeling each other out, and then
absolutely,
you know what I mean? So that's
well, I have one person to really thank for. I have James L. Mattern to thank for totally getting the crowds hyped up and amped and totally ready for the taping. Like the two crowds I had were so great, and that was all James. James just came in and did great warm up, so that was all him. He set the tone for the room.
Yeah.
And he's a psychopath. And
yeah.
They just loved, I had so many people being like, dude, the warm-up guy was so great and fun. I was like, that's why we do it. That's why we got him.
Well, I've heard there's some comedians that will shy away from that. Like they don't really
He embraces it. He loves it. And he's just the best.
What I mean, that they won't get they'll purposefully find somebody that they don't think is funny to warm, to open.
Yeah.
Which
I don't agree with that, because I mean, I would do what you have to do, but like you should have enough faith in yourself that
absolutely,
especially if they're there for you and they're your people, they're gonna love you.
I'm trying to think, like every great comedian I've seen, I absolutely had killer openers, and
oh yeah,
always crushed after. I mean, not like there was a competition or anything, but
right.
It's still.
Oh, I know. There's always people who have theories about like, I don't want to follow somebody who just killed. It's like, well, why not? They're in a great mood. If you're any good, you're gonna keep riding that wave of momentum.
Yeah.
And then it's like, conversely, if you follow somebody who bombed, well, then you should be good enough to fucking clean up that mess. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. Like the room can, shift in the mood a little bit, but you should still be competent enough to fucking good in your abilities to be able to pull them out of that. So
have a little cowboy in you sometime. Go out there and
I don't know.
Face it down.
I did stand up one time.
Back it up.
I did stand up one time in my life, and I was following Michael Richards, and it was that crowd.
No one really remembers your set, so I'll give you that.
Yes,
John, that's so funny. You know who it was who followed him? Is Tom Papa.
Was it really?
Yeah, she's the best, because I opened for Tom a lot on the road, and he goes,
wow.
He goes, there was no coming back from that one.
No,
I don't think so, dude.
You can't pull out the nose dive.
Tom Papa followed Michael Richards after the infamous set. It's so funny. Yeah, I'm not going to tell his story, but you got to get him.
Dynamic opposite.
Such a great story.
Wow.
Jesus.
Anybody like sourdough? Just hand out a sourdough. That's the.
Now I want to try to find that set.
Wow. Yeah, and Tom's like great comedian.
If there was a guy who could do it, it might be Tom. He's so sweet and likable and funny.
Yeah. God.
And he's got that kind of bulletproof aloofness in his stage presence too, to where he could just
yeah. And you have to address that. That's one of you have to address if something big like that happens before you. You have to. You don't have to spend your whole time talking about it, but you have to make them aware that you're aware of it. You can't come into that blind and go on like nothing's happened.
Yeah. So airplane
I was in Poughkeepsie. Who can spell that?
Yeah. Just just go into like real old what do you call it?
Vaudeville?
Yeah, not vaudeville, but whatever.
The Aristocrats.
Yeah.
Anything. Puppetry.
Without using any names, have you had any instances where you're like, man, it's going to be a tough hole to dig out of, that you can remember that's got at least a little funny slant to it?
Yeah, me and Greg Stone did a. It's nothing Greg did, but he asked me one time. He could to do this. He said, "Hey man, I have to. I got hired to do a Jack and Jill party. I don't know if you guys know what those are.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot more fun than it is.
Oh.
It's apparently I never heard of it either. It was a bachelor and bachelorette
Oh.
party. They have them at
Oh.
the same time.
It's
Oh.
like the worst disaster a human could put themselves through.
Okay.
So somebody thought, let's get stand-up comedy involved in that scenario.
yeah.
And you know,
Always
this
fun,
was
right?
like 6 years ago, and they were paying decent money. I think we both got like, I think it was like for us, it was like $500 a piece, but we only had to do like 20 minutes each. And he was just like, dude, please, can you please come with me? So we went up. We drove up to Massachusetts. It was he goes, it's at a country club. How bad can it be? Bad. It was so bad. It was not a country club. It was a golf club. I'll give him that. It was in between Putt Putt and Augusta. Let's put that.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like in the city. First, it was like in an urban area where they just had it was like lawns. And so we do it in the clubhouse, and there's like pictures up. It's just white trash. It was just white fucking trash. And they were having raffles, and the money for the raffles went toward the bride and groom to pay for the wedding. That's what we're doing.
What?
I know.
What
So
the fuck?
then we're the entertainment, and they are having a barbecue outside of this clubhouse where it's half covered by like a tent. And I'm looking around, I'm going, where are we going to do that? I don't see any sort of stage. And then they come over, they go, hi. It's, somebody's aunt who's fucking half drunk. She's going, are you the comedians? And she tells us her whole fucking life story. And, she goes, so we got you set up while we're going to, we want everybody to get their barbecue. And then while we're eating, I go, So that's what happened. We just had to fight through. I mean, it was brutal. It was,
Jesus.
fucking uncles commenting on punchlines, and like, there's only so much crowd work you can do in that situation without getting mean.
Right.
And in the back of your head, you're going, this is like a nice day for the bride. I can't shit on them. I don't know how to dig myself out of this hole. So it was like,
Wow.
to your question, it was like a hole that was already there for us.
Yeah.
That I was just like,
Just
I
walking
don't
around.
think we can get out of this. I'm just going to plow through and do my jokes and hope they enjoy them. And that
They
was
handed
bad.
you
That
the
was
mic. Did it
really
have a
fucking
dick cover
tough.
on it?
Yeah. Yeah,
that-
of course.
my
It was
answer
a
to this
fucking,
is funny.
yeah, totally. It was a shitty sounding PA with a wireless mic that was cutting in and out if you walked too far in one direction. It was just anything that wanted to, was, the Murphy's Law of fucking, but
They're still arguing about that in family court.
me and Greg wanted to buy some of the raffles. And I was like, we're not going to come back up here to collect our prizes, dude. Save your money.
Yeah, that could have gone into night cream.
He was
night
like,
cream fortune.
we had the idea. We were like, let's just really dominate one of the prizes. So like the odds are stacked in our favor. And I was like, I'm not wasting money on that. Because Greg's so sweet. He was like, well, but it going toward the bride and groom. I go, I'm not fucking here for their charity.
Yeah, it's that's over.
I'm here.
with.
I was doing a
That's-
favor for you. Yeah, I've had some bad holes to climb out of just because of people thinking that stand-up would be a good thing in the wrong place.
Yeah,
Like those are the biggest holes I've had. Because once you get to a certain level, I'm not really on bad shows. Not to be fucking an asshole, but it's like you don't do terrible shows like that after 20 years of doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really, following a fucking open micer at this point. But sometimes you take a gig because there's decent money, but you're like, yeah, I'll do a firehouse for charity because I like that feels good. I like
Yeah.
firemen. I want to support them and I want to do a good thing. But it's always terrible when you get there because it's in their firehouse. There's always 8 other things going on at one time. I swear to God, guys, I did this a couple years ago. They were so nice. It was a fundraiser for a fire, like in upstate New York. It was for a firehouse. And I told them, I go, I'll give you a really reasonable rate. It wasn't that much for like a one night. It was maybe like $1,000. And I felt badly even charging them that much. But I got up there and I brought, who did I bring with me? I might have brought like Sam Rubinoff with me. I can't remember. And he did well, and the guy who had organized it was head of the firemen's organization for chair, whatever. He was like, you don't mind if I kind of like MC a little bit? I go, wow, what do you mean? Or do you like stand up? He goes, well, I just want to make some announcements about what's going on. There is another raffle. Anytime raffles are involved, it's never good. So I go, yeah, do the raffle. I don't care. Sure, go ahead, man. He goes, when would it be best for you to do the raffle? I go, at the end. Wait till I get off, And he goes, okay, no problem at all. So I thought we were good. And I go, yeah, if you just want to introduce Sam, then Sam, he'll bring me up. And I go, so you don't have to worry about everything. And then when I'm done, I'll tell everybody, go stick around for the raffle. I go, that way everybody will know. He goes, okay, that sounds good. And I didn't think anything of it.
Good
Sam
plan.
goes up, does fine, right? Everybody's paying attention. Everybody's good. He does 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And says thank you and is bringing me up. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your headliner, Andy Fiori. The guy gets up and intercepts the microphone as I'm walking up to, there's no stage, just on the floor. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, we love to have Andy come up right now. And I'm now awkwardly standing next to him. Just, I don't know what to do. He goes, I just want to let you know, the ladies in the back told me coffee and dessert is now being served. So if you want to go, it's all self-serve in the back. I went, dude, what the fuck? Literally, I'm standing there like an asshole. Then he goes, and Andy Fiori is he's here to do his comedy. He just hands me the mic, and Moses party in the Red Sea gets up and goes to the back. To
the
get
fourth quarter of the Super Bowl
brownies.
is going on right now.
No, there's just exactly. There's everybody's just talking, and I'm just going, hi. So Sam had the best set of the night because he had their full focus. I can't compete with brownies and coffee, and it was just dude. It was so funny. And afterwards, the guy came up. This is the best part of it. He goes, hey man, I saved the raffle toward the end like you wanted. I went, thanks. I appreciate it. So it's like, people there's circumstantial holes that you have to climb out of. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't follow dessert.
No,
it's like,
no,
I don't. No one wants me after. Hi.
Just call him chief and just offend everybody.
Yeah,
like, no, actually, he's the chief.
I thought you were gonna go the other way with it, where he's gonna be like, we lost ladder 42 today. Here's Andy Fiori. He's
oh man, I've had that sometimes too, where I've done a bunch of firehouses. Sometimes they do them in the beginning. They go, just, hey, we just want to, all those we've lost and stuff like that. You go, Jesus, dude. I of course, yes. Let's remember those people. But
you have
even for after.
And speaking of, you come up and speaking of loss, I lost my car keys today. And you almost hear somebody hitting a bass in the background.
Oh yeah. Some brutal shows.
Oh
but
God,
dude!
You learn to just become Teflon about it. You learn not to care. You just go, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You cash your check and get in the car and have a laugh about it on the ride home.
Never think about it again until two idiots ask you about it on a podcast.
Oh yeah, so Sammy. It was just funny. Just a funny story. Me and Sam, I was driving. He always asks if you know from. I always go, yeah, sure, come on up. And we were coming back from the Hartford Improv, I think. And it's a close drive. So after we were done on set, I go, let's go home tonight. Let's just fucking get out of here. And so I'm driving fast to get home. And I hate stopping to take a piss. So I pull over on the side of the road. And Sam, he's a nervous fucking Jew. So I go, hey, man, I got to piss. I'm just going to pull over on the side of the road. He goes, you don't want to stop the rest? I go, nah, I don't want to let's get home. It's going to take too much time. He goes, all right, I have to kind of piss too. I go, piss on the side of the road. So I run around the back of the car, and he's pissing in front of me. And I swear to God, dude, all of a sudden, I'm pissing. I'm midstream, and you just hear, whoop, whoop.
Oh, no.
This fucker creeped up. I didn't even know he was there. There's a cop behind us. Doesn't say anything. He just kind of fucking puts his lights on and made me aware that he was here. And I literally turned around. I was like, midstream, dude. I'm sorry.
You know how hard that is to
This
stop.
is what it is.
Yeah, I go, you just gotta wait this out. So I wrap up and I go back into my car, and Sam's in the car now, and we're sitting there. I'm going, this fucker's gonna give me a ticket, and he's not getting out of his car, and I'm going, what? Is he letting us go? And all of a sudden you hear like that, like from that fucking horn, and I pull out, and he's still following me though. I'm going, what is going on right now? And he followed me for like 5 miles with his lights on. He's like the lights swirling. I pull over again. I go, does he want me to pull over again? And then he goes, wah, wah. I pull back onto the highway. I'm driving, and then he finally just gets off. And I look and say, I go, what the fuck was that? I go, and Sammy goes, I'm irrational at this point. He goes, I think you just wanted to see if you were drunk or not. I go,
either that or he
I
wanted
guess.
to show.
Yeah.
Scared the shit. I go, nah, then I'm weaving in and out of fucking trail. I'm pulling off. What kind of test is that?
Are you sure you're finished?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure you
Or
don't
just
have
get
to
out of the
piss a
car
little
and
bit
come
more?
talk to me, asshole. So I didn't get a ticket. But then
That's
Sam was
weird.
like, maybe he just wanted to like protect us.
That's fucking
So we
weird.
wouldn't get hit by a truck or anything. I go, you're giving this guy way too much credit.
Yeah.
That's not a
And the
protect and
funniest
serve
thing is,
move.
Sam goes, do you mind pulling over again? He goes, when the cop shined his light, he goes, I couldn't go. I had stage fright. So we had to fucking stop for Sam anyway.
And then here,
I've got a terrible,
just drunk back around.
I've got a terrible story for you from the other side of that. So I was a cop for like 13 years.
Yeah.
And my partner and I, when I was just a regular detective, we were driving down the road one day, and he shouts out, he's like, did you fucking see that? And I look over right as he's saying it, and I didn't want to see it. All I saw was a minivan parked on the side of the road, and like right under like the line of the where the wheel well and everything is. I just saw an ass, someone squatting on the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
And in my mind, that was just something I could pretend not to see and go on about the rest of my day.
Right.
I didn't want to be involved in whatever that was. Sure enough, dude, someone's out there, taking a shit in public. I was like, they were doing their best to hide it. It's fine. Clearly, they're okay. We're good. We don't need to.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody would get pulled over for that for real, or like not pulled over. But
Yeah, that's what I think. In the end,
Yeah.
was the cop was just like, all right, you fucking do your business, and get out of here.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Well, he bugged the shit out of me to go back. No pun intended. So I go back, and he's like, "What if that person's stabbed or something like that?" And that's what's I'm like, they're not stabbed. They're taking a shit on the side of the road.
Yeah.
We don't need to be a part of this. This is not the legal process. I was like, you get out of the car, you talk to him. I'm not doing any of this.
Right.
Sure enough, he gets out. It's this poor lady who has horrible flu. And she was on her way to the doctor. And she was giving us the explanation while she's literally shitting on the side of the road. And she can't stop. I mean, she just
that's
literally
flu
can't
shit
stop.
too.
Hand him some
That ain't
evidence
solid.
bags.
Well, he has a horrible gag reflex. So he's trying to get through this and not throw up on the side of the road while this is going. So he's like, it's okay. Like, he's literally that bad. It's okay, man. Hope you feel better. He gets in the car. We go back to the exit. We were originally going to turn on. I had to stop in the middle of the exit. He starts throwing up outside the door. And literally throwing
So
up.
he's made more of a mess.
So
than
I'm
she
like,
has.
you're far more of a public nuisance than that lady who pulled off the side of the road. I was like, I ought to write you a fucking ticket right now.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking piece of shit lawbreaker. And he's still throwing up and trying to cuss me out. But that was his fault.
Damn. I had no idea you were an officer of the law for that long.
Yeah. I wasn't that good. I just I was there,
I mean, but whereabouts? What part of the
in North Carolina, middle of North Carolina. Yeah.
Okay.
I got to work with a lot of
You
different agencies and whatnot.
You were mainly not on. You're not on the road.
No, I was on the road a little bit in the beginning, but I did mostly detective work.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Did you see some fucked up shit?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So intrigued.
Did you ever? Sorry,
You know
Ask
the
it
answer to
now,
whatever you're
Johnny,
getting
come
ready to
on.
ask me.
no, I wasn't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, dude.
I had in my mind that I was this bandit that used to piss on the side of the road, like those. I just let it
the pissing
free-handed.
bandit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like those green guys, the blow up guys.
Yeah.
Just let it hands free.
Yeah.
Like, because like most people are probably trying to hide when they're pissing on the side of the road, but the one guy, the bandit, the highway bandit, that's just pissing.
Yep.
Free.
That's
Anyway,
me, dude.
yeah.
I'm quick. I'm a quick pisser, so I don't really go too far into the woods.
Yeah,
I fucking just hop out, piss, and get back in the car. 45
with you.
seconds.
And you know, if someone's making an effort to hide, there's no reason to bother them over that. It's like everybody's got to do it.
I'm not gonna
That's
like
what I mean.
if somebody's staring me down, I probably wouldn't be able to. But like, I can
don't
pretty
know,
much
you're-
piss anywhere.
I think
What
you're a slight
male
pisser.
cop, too, Jason? What male cop is gonna go if you go? Hey, man, couldn't hold it any longer. From
they
man to
know that
man, you
feeling.
know what this is like.
Yeah, anybody, male, female, whatever.
Yeah, but a
If
female
you're-
doesn't know that feeling. That
Well, they don't have feelings, but
I had a girlfriend in college who could pop a squat with the best of them and had no shame. She was great. She would just go, "I'll just run right over here behind this tree." I go, "Baby, I fucking love you."
I knew a girl who dated a friend of mine, and she could literally do the old one leg up and pee into a urinal,
Nice.
and did many times at NARC conferences.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so she was a keeper.
I can't tell you how many times I've like in dive bars, whatever, I walked in and like a girl's pissing in the sink. This is bad news, man.
I'm sorry that
Like,
everyone's
hot.
full.
The fairer sex. I don't know about
Yeah. I think so.
that.
But yeah, I can get into a bunch of stories with you someday. But yeah, the whole when I was said I'd rather be shot at than jump out of an airplane, I literally have done one of those two.
Damn.
I'll take the getting shot at any day.
Jeez Louise.
I can't fire back at the earth.
I mean, you
True.
can.
True.
Human missile.
Well, probably. I guess I'm guaranteed to hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
What?
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, back to what we were saying about you working with different people after 20 years, dude.
Yeah.
You're special in all the things you do. Like, it's all reflective of that. So never doubt how fucking great you are. 'Cause
Oh,
you
man,
really are
thank
great,
you.
dude. You
Appreciate
work.
it.
The best
Thanks.
people work
Thanks,
with you
Jason.
for a reason. You are where you are for a reason.
Thanks.
You know,
man.
your name is in the mouth of all the major players. I don't mean that in the dirty way.
You kind of did.
A little
sound
bit in the
Thank
dirty
you.
way. But
jerky,
dude,
but-
you just, I don't think you have a clue of how fucking good you are. You know you're
Ah,
good,
it's
but
very
you don't
sweet.
know you're great.
Thanks, man.
And
Yeah.
we fucking
Hard
love
for
you.
me to take up.
I know. This is fucking torture, especially for a
No,
really
no.
funny
It's
person.
very. I mean, it really. You made my day. I mean, thank you.
What's the name of your special? Have you?
It's
said
called
it?
Check Right, which is a thing. My dad passed away in 2020 at 96 years old. He was an old dad. He had me when he was 55, and when I would go places with my dad in the car, he would be driving and he would come up to an intersection and he'd look to his left. He'd go, "Check right," and it was. And you go, I have to look. You had to tell him what the traffic scenario was on the right side of the world. This was absent. It was. I've never heard anybody do that before. And like, I'm talking when I was a young kid too.
Yeah.
And you learn real quick to be accurate because he's trusting and he goes on your say so.
Yeah.
And you learn not to mumble, especially words that sound similar. Like I swear to God, one time I said, he went, "Check right." I went, "No." And he went, he heard "go" and just darted and pulled out the fucking trap. So that's
Nice.
where the name comes from. I have a bigger bit than that
I
in
love
the
it.
special, but that's where it's dedicated to my dad. There's a nice picture of him in the credits. But yeah, it was like it was the one where I wanted to get my dad stuff out of the way. And I had dad stuff just for him of being an old guy with like hilarious tendencies. You know, he's a World War II veteran. He's an Olympian, ex-Olympian, obviously.
Yeah.
Just like one of those
Amazing.
classic American characters. So I had a lot of that stuff. And then, you know, he passed away like early COVID, but it's that stuff is in there and I talk about it. And so, you know, it's not the whole thing. It's about 10 minutes of it. But it's just like getting that stuff out and having that stuff be a part of the, you know, my comedy. And yeah, like I've moved on from it now because I mean, it's not sad, but it's just like for me, I was just like, well, I wanted to get that out there and then move on from it. So yeah, it's dedicated to him. October 6th, the day it comes out, would have been his 99th birthday.
Oh,
No kidding.
wow.
Yeah, that's that was kind of we did that on purpose.
Very,
So
very fitting.
beautiful,
yeah,
man.
but like
Yeah.
I said, it's not sad at all. They're all like hilarious bits. It's
No, sure.
I try and paint the picture of him because he was like he was like a Betty White of dads character. You know, like everybody just came in contact with him, loved him. He was a fucking character. Like he had these weird tendencies and his like quips and phrases that he would say where it's just like, I've never heard anybody else talk like this, or, you know, like he sang barbershop his whole life, like barbershop quartet.
That's fucking awesome.
I know, just like a fucking American icon kind of dude. So
it's you know,
yeah. So
again,
we decided to. Greg Stone actually was one of those. He was like, you got to call it Check Right, because I was telling him about how I couldn't make that, or no, I was telling him how I couldn't make a bit into a bit one day, and I was just like, when my dad was alive, you know, you talk to your parents, you fucking just, they aggravate you. So sometimes when you're on the phone with your old parents, you're just like frustrated. And I had this idea in my head where I was telling Greg, I'm like, I can't make this work on stage. But I was telling it to him. He was like, I love that so much. It was like where I would get in an argument with my dad over the phone, but because he was so old, I'd always have to end the guy would be like, all right, well, I don't know. Fuck off, Dad. And I love you so much. You're the best person I've ever met in my life. I love you so much. Just in case it was the last time I ever talked to him. I was like, I always have to end everything with like the most positive thing, just in case.
Yeah, short term.
And so I still never made that work. But it was like I started talking about like how he had all these things. I'm like, you know, it was in the car, so I was doing Check Right to Greg. He was like, you gotta call it Check Right. That's a great title. So that's how it came about. Yeah.
That's what a guy to guide you through this fucking crazy world and country.
I know.
Yeah,
and he was an oddity too. Like he was old as shit, but really like physically gifted. He didn't fucking stop until probably like 6 months before he passed. Like he started to like break down. He was really like never missed a catch outside, like never was not there or present or anything because of his age or anything like that. So it was like really defying science. I mean, he worked like into his 80s as like a mechanical engineer. Wow. And like we went skiing. He was 91, I think, the last time he hit the slopes. Jesus. You know, and by that I mean doing cocaine with me.
Yes.
No, physically he was a skier his whole life. He was a mechanical engineer. He and his partner in his engineering firm, they bought a bunch of property in Massachusetts in like the 60s, and they turned it into like a small ski mountain. They designed it and just built it, and it's still there in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. It's Butternut Ski Basin. And yeah, it's like crazy shit like that where it's just like
it's
most well-traveled person. You could name a place and you go, oh, I was there in 1948 with, just like insane.
It's like so many lives in one too. Like I see these, hear these stories and like, you're like different people within one life. I don't know, all the different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the barbershop singing the Americana, that's like Americana that
totally.
I don't know if we have that anymore.
Man, I'm glad those guys are dying off now because they're making us look like pussies.
Yeah,
it's not really a young man's game anymore.
No, man, America's definitely an old man's game.
But no, that really is that's beautiful, man. And I really can't wait to see the special. It's October 6th on your YouTube channel, which is we're gonna post all that up as well.
You're gonna be sick of us promoting it.
Oh, please. I know. That's the other thing. I'm not built for I'm not like a salesman like that. I hate promoting myself. I love doing for other people, but I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're going to see a lot of this month. It's just going to be a lot of me, and you're going to see a lot. So I do appreciate that.
Just think about it. It's something you believe in, right? So
and you're talking about somebody you believe in.
Yeah.
Right.
Just disassociate.
Do it for Dad.
That's what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Use your mental illness for good.
That's what I do when I murder. It's disassociate and then come back.
But dude, you're a sweetheart of a human being. You're a great fucking guy. We're so happy to see you do this,
man. And people can find you on Instagram, Twitter, all that
is at Andy Fiori. It's ANDYFIORI. And if you just go to all that, andyfiori.com, all that is linked to the special, which if you want to go directly to YouTube, it's youtube.com/Andrew Fiori. So it's a little bit of a confusion there, but just let me fucking change it, YouTube.
Yeah. Dude. Come on, Mr. YouTube.
They give you one shot at it when you start your page, and then
John, you know what it was? In like 2005, I had this thing. I was like, Andy's a little immature at this thing. I think I'm going to be a more mature comic and go with Andrew. And then all my friends were like, "You're not in Andrew, dude. You're in." I was like, "All right." And then like by that time too, I did have all the URLs. It was like Andy. I'm like the laziness factor. I was like, I'll just keep it as Andy.
Yeah.
So, big step for YouTube, but
Yeah, 2005 was probably about the time you're like, you know what? Maybe it's time I get rid of this beard.
yeah, totally. But I want to thank you guys. You're always such great supporters and hilarious guys to talk to, and you guys always really support awesome comedians and good comedy, and it shows and people notice. So
well, it's
really
easy
cool.
when there's such good comedians out there like yourself, man. It's honestly, you make it easy.
Well, thank you. But and Jason, your point though, people do take notice of that stuff, and everybody always has great words about you guys in the comedy community. So you should know that.
We made a deal with Satan, so that explains that.
Yeah.
There was no way you were never going to be a performer, given your background. And dude, we're so happy you are.
And
thank you very much.
Just I want to. Anybody wants to see my set after Michael Richards? It's out there. But Andy, thank you so much, man. Please come back again. I mean, you're always welcome here, man.
Awesome, love to.
All right, dude.
We'll talk
to you soon.
Have fun.
See you, boys. Love you guys.
All right, bye.